Spiritual Manthan.
Ever find yourself caught in a relentless storm of thoughts? It's like your brain's got its own playlist on shuffle, playing tracks you never added, worries, what-ifs, and worst-case scenarios on loop. Sounds familiar, right? Well, you're not alone. This mental whirlwind is a daily reality for many of us, leading to anxiety, stress, and a whole lot of unnecessary suffering. But here's a twist: this whole struggle, it's not really about you. In this chat, we're going to dive into a fresh perspective on the mind's antics. Think of it as turning the lens to see the chaos in a whole new light. This isn't just another self-help spiel. It's about a profound shift that could be your ticket out of the turmoil. And guess what? You don't need years to get it. This realization can hit you right here, right now. The illusion of control, a deeper dive. Have you ever found yourself trying to control the uncontrollable? It's a bit like standing at the edge of the ocean, commanding the waves to cease their endless ebb and flow. It's not just futile, it paints a picture of us engaging in an impossible battle against the very nature of things. This analogy mirrors our efforts to tame the mind's relentless activity. The illusion of control is our first misunderstanding. A misconception that we can, through sheer force of will, dictate the narrative of our internal dialogues. Understanding the mind's nature. The mind is a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. It's akin to a vast ocean, with thoughts as its waves. Some days, it's calm, serene, and as clear as crystal. Other days, it's stormy, unpredictable, and overwhelming. Attempting to control this ceaseless activity is akin to trying to stop the ocean's waves with your hands. It's not only impossible, but also unnecessary. The key lies not in silencing the chatter, but in learning to observe it without attachment. The idea that we can exert control over our thoughts leads to frustration and a sense of failure. It's a common misconception that mental discipline means stopping unwanted thoughts in their tracks. However, this approach misunderstands the mind's true nature. Thoughts arise spontaneously, often without our conscious input. They can be triggered by external events, internal sensations, or seemingly emerge from the ether. Trying to block or control these thoughts only adds another layer of mental activity, leading to a heightened sense of inner turmoil. The role of resistance. Resistance plays a central role in the illusion of control. When unwelcome thoughts invade our mental space, our instinctive reaction is to push back. We question the origin of these thoughts, criticize ourselves for having them, or engage in mental battles to expel them. This resistance is counterproductive. It's like trying to smooth water with a flat iron. Each attempt only disrupts the surface further. The more we resist, the more entangled we become in the web of our thoughts. This resistance feeds the cycle of overthinking and anxiety, trapping us in a loop of mental struggle. It's a battle we're conditioned to fight, yet it's one where victory remains elusive because the battleground itself is an illusion. Shifting perspectives. The breakthrough comes when we shift our perspective from control to observation. Imagine observing the ocean's waves from the shore, acknowledging their power and beauty, without the need to influence their course. Similarly, when we observe our thoughts without the impulse to control or judge them, we begin to understand the true nature of our minds. This shift in perspective is transformative. It allows us to recognize that thoughts, like waves, have a natural rhythm and flow. They arise, peak, and naturally dissipate if we don't cling to them. By observing our thoughts without attachment, we learn to navigate the mind's ocean with grace and ease. This doesn't mean the waves stop coming, but rather that we no longer feel compelled to control them. Embracing the natural flow. Learning to coexist with the mind's natural flow is a journey of self-discovery. It requires patience, practice, and a gentle acceptance of our human experience. Meditation and mindfulness are tools that can help us cultivate this observer's stance. Through consistent practice, we develop the ability to witness our thoughts without getting caught in their current. The illusion of control is a significant barrier to inner peace and understanding. Recognizing this illusion for what it is, a misunderstanding of the mind's nature, is the first step towards liberation from it. As we let go of the need to control, we open ourselves to a more profound, more harmonious way of being. In this space, the mind is no longer an adversary, but a companion on our journey towards self-realization. The truth behind the turmoil: unveiling misconceptions. Misconceptions about our identity. One of the most profound misunderstandings that contribute to our mental turmoil is the confusion about our true identity. We often equate our sense of self with our thoughts, feelings, and the roles we play in life. This identification with the mind and its narratives creates a fertile ground for anxiety and stress. When we believe we are our thoughts, every negative thought pattern or anxious prediction feels like a direct assault on our being. However, this belief in our thoughts as the essence of our identity is where the turmoil begins. Our true nature is far more expansive than the fleeting thoughts and emotions that pass through our consciousness. Recognizing this distinction is crucial for transcending the mental chaos that often engulfs us. The role of thoughts in our suffering. Thoughts, by their nature, are transient. They come and go, influenced by our environment, our physical state, and a myriad of other factors. However, the trouble starts when we attach significance to these thoughts, treating them as truths about ourselves and our reality. This attachment not only gives these thoughts more power than they deserve, but also leads to a cycle of mental suffering. For example, consider the thought, "I am not good enough." If we identify with this thought, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression. But if we see this thought for what it is, just a thought, with no inherent truth or power over us, we can begin to break free from the cycle of suffering. The illusion of internal conflict, the feeling of being in a constant battle with our thoughts, is an illusion stemming from the misconception that there is a me separate from my thoughts that needs to defend itself or fight back. This internal conflict is like a shadow boxing match where both the attacker and the defender are the same entity. The realization that there is no real opposition, but rather a misperception of our experience, can be liberating. When we understand that thoughts do not define us and that our true self is the awareness behind these thoughts, the internal battle ceases. This doesn't mean that thoughts stop occurring, but rather that we no longer engage with them in a way that leads to suffering. Moving beyond the turmoil. Moving beyond the turmoil requires a shift from identification with the mind to an identification with awareness itself. This shift is not a denial of the mind or its contents, but an understanding that we are the space in which these thoughts occur. Just as the sky is not disturbed by the clouds that pass through it, our true nature is not disturbed by the thoughts that pass through our awareness. This realization allows us to relate to our thoughts and emotions from a place of equanimity and peace. Instead of being tossed around by the waves of our mind, we learn to surf them with skill and grace. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent to our thoughts, but rather that we engage with them in a way that does not lead to suffering. Embracing our true nature. Embracing our true nature as awareness itself is the key to transcending overthinking, anxiety, stress, and suffering. This awareness is always present, unchanging, and untouched by the transient phenomena of thoughts and emotions. By anchoring ourselves in this awareness, we find a place of peace and stability amidst the ever-changing landscape of our minds. The art of observing, cultivating mindful awareness. The practice of observing our thoughts and emotions is akin to learning a new language, the language of mindful awareness. This doesn't require us to change who we are or to forcibly alter our thinking patterns. Instead, it invites us to shift our relationship with our thoughts, to become attentive listeners and watchers of our own mental processes. Mindfulness, the foundation of observation. Mindfulness is the bedrock of this art. It teaches us to be present with whatever arises in our consciousness, without judgment or the need to change it. Imagine sitting by a river, watching leaves float by on the water's surface. Each leaf could represent a thought, feeling, or sensation. Some leaves are vibrant and eye-catching, others dark and somber. The practice of mindfulness encourages us not to wade into the river, to alter its course, or to pick and choose which leaves we want to pass by, but simply to watch them drift by. The observer's stance. Adopting the observer's stance is a profound exercise in self-awareness. It requires us to recognize that we are not our thoughts or emotions. We are the consciousness that notices these thoughts and emotions. This distinction is crucial. It's the difference between being caught in a storm and watching it from a safe distance. When we observe our thoughts, we detach ourselves from their immediate impact, allowing us to respond rather than react. The space between thoughts. In the practice of observation, we begin to notice the spaces between our thoughts. These moments of silence, though fleeting, offer a glimpse into the peaceful essence of our true nature. They remind us that the mind's constant activity isn't the totality of our existence. There's a deeper, more serene layer of our being, always present, often overlooked. Non-attachment, the key to freedom. Non-attachment is a fundamental principle in the art of observing. It's about letting thoughts and emotions arise and pass without clinging to them or pushing them away. This doesn't mean we don't care or that we become passive observers of our own lives. On the contrary, non-attachment allows us to engage with life more fully, with a clear mind and an open heart, free from the burdens of past regrets and future anxieties. Practical steps to cultivating observation. Regular meditation. Set aside time each day to sit quietly and observe your breath, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Meditation is not about achieving a state of thoughtlessness, but about becoming a witness to your inner experiences. Mindful moments. Throughout your day, pause to fully engage with the present moment. It could be while eating, walking, or even during a conversation. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you without judgment. Reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on your experiences. Notice any patterns or recurring thoughts without analyzing or critiquing them. This reflection is not about finding solutions, but about deepening your understanding of your mental landscape. Compassion. Be kind to yourself. Observing your thoughts can sometimes reveal uncomfortable truths. Approach these revelations with compassion and understanding, recognizing that they are part of the human experience. Embracing your true nature, the path to inner peace. In the quest for tranquility, amidst the cacophony of our thoughts, the journey inward to embrace our true nature stands as a beacon of hope and transformation. This section delves into the essence of our being beyond the mental chatter, illuminating the path to inner peace through self-realization and acceptance. Beyond the mind's illusions. Imagine for a moment that you are standing atop a mountain, gazing out at the vast expanse before you. The air is crisp, the silence profound. From this vantage point, the world below seems serene, its turmoil insignificant. This mountain is a metaphor for your true nature, a state of being that rises above the landscape of the mind, with its valleys of fear, forests of doubt, and rivers of worry. Our true nature is akin to the sky, ever-present, expansive, and unaffected by the weather patterns that dance across its canvas. Just as clouds gather and disperse without altering the sky's essence, our thoughts and emotions ebb and flow without changing the fundamental nature of our being. Recognizing this aspect of ourselves is crucial in the journey toward inner peace. The illusion of self. One of the most profound realizations on this journey is the recognition that the self we often identify with our thoughts, emotions, and physical form is not the entirety of our existence. It's like mistaking a single wave for the ocean. Our true essence lies beyond these transient expressions. The self that worries about the future, regrets the past, and gets entangled in the present's complexities is a construct, a necessary aspect of our human experience, but not the sum total of who we are. This realization opens the door to a more profound sense of freedom and peace, as it allows us to step back from the narrative of our personal story and witness it without being consumed by it. The space of awareness. At the core of our being is pure awareness, a space of consciousness that observes the mind's dramas without participating in them. This awareness is not something we need to cultivate or achieve. It is our natural state, ever present and accessible amidst the noise of our thoughts and the tumult of our emotions. Engaging with this aspect of ourselves can be as simple as noticing the gap between thoughts, the stillness beneath the mental activity. It's in these spaces that we catch glimpses of our true nature, a presence that is both vast and intimate, timeless and immediate. Cultivating presence. Embracing our true nature involves cultivating presence, the ability to remain anchored in the awareness of the moment, regardless of the mind's fluctuations. It's a practice of returning again and again to the now, recognizing that this moment is the only true reality we have. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or future, but rather holding them lightly, with an understanding that our true essence resides beyond the temporal dimensions. It's about finding the still point within, around which the wheel of life turns. The practice of letting go. A key aspect of embracing our true nature is the practice of letting go, releasing our attachment to thoughts, emotions, and identities that no longer serve us. It's a process of unburdening, of peeling away the layers that obscure our true self. Letting go is not an act of rejection, but an act of acceptance, recognizing that everything within our experience is part of the journey towards self-realization. It involves trusting the flow of life, understanding that even the most turbulent waters eventually lead to the ocean of our being, the path forward. Embracing your true nature is not a destination, but a journey, a continuous unfolding of awareness that reveals the depth and breadth of who you truly are. It's a path marked by moments of profound peace and challenging turmoil, each step an opportunity for growth and deepening understanding. As we walk this path, we learn to hold lightly the constructs of the mind, to find joy in the simple act of being, and to see the beauty in the tapestry of our human experience, woven with threads of light and shadow. In embracing our true nature, we find not only peace, but a wellspring of compassion, love, and wisdom that flows from the heart of our being, enriching our lives and the world around us. The art of observing, cultivating mindfulness in the midst of mental chaos. In the vast landscape of our minds, where thoughts and emotions ebb and flow like the tides, learning the art of observation stands as a beacon of hope and tranquility. This practice isn't about detaching from our humanity or ignoring the richness of our inner experiences. Rather, it's about developing a keen, compassionate awareness that allows us to witness our mental processes without getting swept away by them. Understanding observation. Observation is the gentle act of noticing, watching our thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, exist, and dissipate. It's akin to sitting by a riverbank, watching the water flow by. Some leaves, thoughts, might float gently on the surface, while others, emotions, might be caught in the current, swirling and dipping. As the observer, you're not attempting to alter the river's flow, grab at the leaves, or judge the water's pace. You're simply there, present and aware. This metaphorical riverbank is where peace can be found, amidst the tumultuous flow of our inner worlds. It's a vantage point from which we can see the transient nature of our mental and emotional experiences, recognizing that they are not the totality of who we are. The practice of mindful observation. The practice begins with intention. It's a decision to pay attention to the present moment, to the sensations in our bodies, the breath moving in and out, and the parade of thoughts crossing our minds. This doesn't require us to sit in meditation for hours, though meditation can be a powerful tool in this practice. It can start right now, in this moment, wherever you are. You might begin by simply noticing the feel of your feet on the ground, the sounds around you, or the texture of your breath. As thoughts arise, note them planning, remembering, worrying, then gently return your focus to the present moment. This act of returning, again and again, builds the muscle of mindfulness, strengthening our ability to remain centered amidst life's constant flux. The challenge of non-attachment. One of the greatest challenges in the art of observation is learning to let go of attachment to our thoughts and emotions. Our minds are meaning-making machines, constantly narrating our experiences, analyzing, judging, and planning. This incessant chatter can make it difficult to maintain the stance of an observer. We get hooked by a thought or emotion, and before we know it, we're lost in the story, far from the riverbank. Non-attachment doesn't mean not caring or becoming emotionally numb. It's about recognizing that our thoughts and emotions are part of our experience, but they don't define us. We can observe them, feel them fully, and yet not be consumed by them. This is the heart of mindfulness, being fully present with whatever arises without getting entangled in it. The rewards of observation. The rewards of cultivating a practice of observation are profound. Over time, we find that the mental chaos that once overwhelmed us loses its power. We become more adept at navigating life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. Stress and anxiety, while still part of our experience, don't grip us as tightly. We discover a wellspring of peace within that isn't dependent on external circumstances or the whims of our thoughts. Moreover, this practice deepens our connection to ourselves and the world around us. We become more compassionate, more attuned to the nuances of our experiences, and more open to the full spectrum of life. We learn to embrace each moment, not as a hurdle to overcome, but as an opportunity to be fully alive, fully human. Moving forward with mindfulness. As we continue to explore the art of observing, it's important to approach ourselves with kindness and patience. The mind will wander. That's its nature. Our task isn't to perfect the art of observation, but to engage with it, to come back to the riverbank again and again, with curiosity and compassion. In this space of mindful observation, we discover not only a refuge from the storm, but also a deeper appreciation for the beauty and complexity of our inner landscapes. It's here, in the stillness of observation, that we find our true selves connected, present, and profoundly at peace. You are awareness. Here's a truth bomb for you. You are awareness itself. This awareness is the stage on which the whole drama of thoughts, emotions, and sensations plays out. It's not about picturing yourself as a form or shape, but understanding that you're beyond any physical attributes. You exist independently of the mind's constructs, untouched by its illusions. The real UVs, the mind's you. When the mind spirals into overdrive, remember, it's not really happening to you. You that feels attacked is just another character in the mind's script. Your true self, the observer of this chaos, is separate from the emotions and thoughts it perceives. Embracing your true nature. The solution? Embrace the simplicity of being. This isn't about doing something, but being something, or rather, recognizing what you already are. You're inherently aware, always observing your thoughts effortlessly. This awareness is your natural state, the backdrop to the mind's incessant chatter. The practice of presence. When you find yourself caught in a mental storm, let it be. Understand that these are just thoughts and emotions passing through the vast space of your awareness. They don't define you. By shifting your focus from the content of your thoughts to the awareness behind them, you start to break free from the mind's grip. Meditation, the path to self-realization. Meditation is a powerful ally on this journey. It's not about stopping thoughts, but allowing your natural state of awareness to shine through. Let thoughts, sensations, and emotions flow without attachment. This practice deepens your realization of your true nature, bringing peace and liberation from the mind's turmoil. So, there you have it. Transcending overthinking, anxiety, stress, and suffering isn't about fighting your thoughts or changing who you are. It's about recognizing and returning to your true being awareness itself. This journey of discovery invites you to experience life beyond the mind's drama, in a state of peace and freedom that's always been yours for the taking. I hope this chat sparks something in you, a curiosity to explore your true nature further. Rewatch, reflect, and practice. Share this journey with others. It might just be the light they need in their own tumultuous storm. Here's to finding peace in the eye of the storm. Wishing you a beautiful day, filled with moments of true presence and profound realization.